It smells like Cheetos. Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is my wonderful little child, my small child, my baby. Everybody clap your hands. Dun, dun. Anyways, hello you guys. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. My name is Sonya Esman and welcome back to my YouTube channel, which has existed since prehistoric times. Trust me, I was there. So before I digress onto the main point, the juicy part of this whole video, are you and your boyfriend long distance? And if so, how do you make it work? Cause I'm struggling. Do you plan on getting any kind of plastic surgery in the future when you're older? Did you ever think that you were gonna be alone or that you wouldn't find love or a soulmate? Are you planning on becoming an actress? Have you ever been in love with someone other than your boyfriend? Do you have any close friends? I'm very excited about introducing and thanking Songmont, who is sponsoring this portion of the video, because I absolutely am genuinely obsessed with their bags. I wear them every single day and I can't wait for them to start blowing up all over social media because they definitely deserve it. The three Songmont bags which I have here to show you guys today are the Luna and the Drippy Tote, which I have in 2 colors, 2 sizes, different vibes. I'm gonna really quickly talk about them and also show you how I styled them this past week in LA. Song started the brand in 2013 while she was still working at Google and trying to find the perfect bag to fit her laptop in. So naturally she designed it herself and her mom helped her make it. She started sharing her and her mom's co-creation on social media where a lot of people started asking them to start selling it. Here's where the best part begins. Her mom led a team of 65-year-old grandmas who were all retired artisans and started making these bags by hand. Grandma gang. Like, what a life plot twist. Imagine at 65 you start a whole other venture. I can only dream of that life. Today, Songmont has grown into an influential brand across Asia that tries to convey unique Eastern cultural aesthetics, femininity and craftsmanship, and redefine stylish bags for work with premium leather bags. But the real catch here is the bags are priced affordably, fairly, and are actually attainable.
This is Luna, and I think she's my favorite of the bunch. She's chic and trendy. Made with milled fine calf leather, Luna has gorgeous fade-resistant gold-plated hardware and can be shaped into 4 different looks with her detachable handle and strap. She's basically a luxe transformer. And she's perfect for the summer. Inspired by the hanging ears of drip coffee bags, the Drippy Tote is a perfect medium between a small bag and a huge tote that weighs you down. She's unique, practical, and can be carried by hand or on your shoulder or crossbody. She's also got 4-foot studs on the bottom which protect the bottom of the bag from getting stains or scratches. And lastly, the Drippy Roof Bag, which draws inspiration from traditional Chinese architecture and is meticulously crafted with premium leather. She's relaxed, sleek, and minimalistic, has a nifty pocket for your phone, keys, or lip gloss, and can be carried on your shoulder or held as a clutch. Isn't that clutch? So our first question today is, are you and your boyfriend long distance? And if so, how do you make it work? Cause I'm struggling. Yes, me and my boyfriend of 4.5 years are long distance. He lives in Canada. Even though we've known each other for over 11 years, we didn't start dating until 2019, at which point I was living in LA all by myself and he was living in Toronto. I honestly think that if he wasn't who he is, I would probably be in the exact same position and also struggling. Nearly every day I am thinking how unfair it is that like it looks like, to me from my perspective, it looks like everyone can live with their significant other, their boyfriends. It seems like such a luxury to me to be able to spend that much time with someone, to like literally be able to hug them whenever you need a hug, cause I can only get a hug if we just so happen to be together. Anyway, you know what I mean? Like, yes, it sucks, but we both often remind each other and talk about, like for fun, the things that we're working towards. We track our progress. We have a pretty set in stone plan for how we're gonna achieve living together, which is obviously not easy when you're both trying to live in a place where you don't come from. Like, I have to first immigrate and then he has to immigrate to the United States if we both want to live here, and that is like not something that happens overnight. Unfortunately, not even like over a year. Besides the obvious answers of you guys have to communicate all the time, not just like communicate, talk, blah, 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 and text and FaceTime, but the quality of your communication, whatever type of communication you feel like you need to feel close to somebody and grow with somebody, I feel like it's important to do that. For example, you could say to your significant other that, hey, it would mean a lot to me if every single week we went through our plans, we tracked our progress, and we really made sure that we were on track to living together and achieving our goals together. That's something that, for me, makes me feel a lot more secure in the relationship and kind of like annihilates the sadness that comes with a long distance relationship. But then the other thing is that I feel like we don't really take, oh my God, I have to go to the farmer's market like right now.
my alarm, mascara, and then we're going, okay? That's it. We honestly just don't really take that much time apart from each other. I think he tries to come see me in LA every other month or every single month if he can. Obviously, he does have to take time off of work and school, which is not the easiest thing in the world to do. So I appreciate his sacrifices a lot. But like also on that tone, I feel like I'm just kind of in a position with a person that really tries to do everything that they can to make sure that they're with me often. I think it just really helps that I see how reciprocal this relationship is and the fact that I can see how seriously he also takes it. You can also play a little harmless game of delusion and pretend that your husband just has a job overseas and he's constantly gone for months at a time, but you guys are still together. Obviously, like, don't do this for some lame ass crusty guy, but if he's really the love of your life, then I feel like that is something that could probably hold you over. I am jealous constantly of just couples everywhere, freaking living together and doing this together and buying homes together, going on vacations together. It sucks. It also probably helps that I've spent a vast majority of my life alone, like living alone, doing everything alone, kind of almost preferring to be alone in many situations. Have you ever been in love with someone other than your boyfriend? One of my favorite quotes throughout my entire life has been, "There's all types of love in the world, but never the same love twice." To answer your question, yes, but not in the same way that I feel like love is supposed to feel. I very intentionally didn't get into a lot of relationships in my life because I really wanted to be one of those like one and done people, mostly because throughout my life I've observed a lot of on and off relationships ending and beginning and the emotions that come with it. I obtained a lot of secondhand embarrassment having watched all of these people proclaim that they have met the love of their life. They're in a relationship, they get married, and then they divorce and they cry and they're like, no, this person was actually an asshole, and then 5 months later they find somebody new, and it's like this cycle that repeats on and on and on and on, and it's like kind of traumatizing, probably not just for the person going through the relationships, but for the people and the children that have to witness them. So I've always dreamt of being very intentional about the person that I select to be my partner. But also it's just not worth it, you know what I mean? My mom has really instilled that in me from a very young age, that like, you don't need a man, you should make your own money. All of these people that are like, oh, my husband doesn't let me go outside. Like, all those people are doing life wrong. You don't need your husband's permission to go on a walk or to buy groceries or some stupid shit. So I'm very grateful for my mom's feminist beliefs that have been so deeply lodged in my own character since a very young age. But I feel like healthily so, you know, I don't feel like I'm like too crazy about it, but anyway. I wonder if the person asking this question was asking it because they want to know how to know if somebody is the one. And to be honest, I don't think the one exists. I think it's a choice you have to make with as much information as you possibly have, but also not intellectualize it because it's not a decision that comes from the mind. Oftentimes, I don't know, I feel like sometimes people do make a lot of like relationship decisions based on their mind and logic, especially in the past. I actually find this topic to be very interesting, but I remember hearing that relationships in the past, usually your families married you guys off because you're in a similar social class. Very often the brides didn't even want to be in that relationship. So obviously women used to not even be able to work or vote or have bank accounts. It's cool that all of this is relatively new to the area of like women's issues or relationships in general, because like freaking 200 years ago we were not thinking about this, right? Like, I wish I could go back and ask my great grandmother how she met her husband, because I really doubt that like they met in the first day of school and they fell in love with each other. Maybe it was like just a familial thing, who knows. I just came back from the farmer's market, by the way, and I got my two favorite things, cilantro hummus. I don't know if you guys have ever had cilantro hummus. It is this particular hummus made by these farmers market vendors that is insanely good. Because I don't want people driving all the way to downtown Los Angeles to go to the farmers market and buy this, because let's be honest, who wants to be here? Nobody. I'm gonna learn to make this and make a video about it, and you guys are gonna try it that way, okay? Deal. So I have lived in my apartment for years and there is no decoration on my walls because I really wanted to do the opposite of what I did in my last house, where I literally renovated it even though it was a rental. Don't bully me in your head, trust me, I have grieved enough, okay? Because I have pretty much no art skills, I'm going to be painting pretty basic artwork that's kind of focused on color and like light. We make fun of people that go to art school. Well, I didn't even go to art school, okay? And this is what we're working with. So I got a question that I thought was really interesting because it would allow me to talk about a topic that I've been wanting to discuss with you guys for a very long time, just not knowing how to approach it or what to even really say, because I feel like there's not a moral to the story. But the question is, do you have any close friends? I don't know if I'm reading too deeply into things, but I feel like this question was asked for a reason. And I feel like that reason is it's pretty easy to tell that I don't have a lot of friends. So probably this person was just asking me if I'm like hiding, gatekeeping all of my friends from the internet. No, definitely not. I don't think I've ever had a lot of close friends. I feel like I need to focus all of my energy on my own life. I get pretty invested in my friends. I feel like I take on a lot of their mentalities and I'm kind of impressionable. I feel like I soak people up like a sponge. So I try to be very careful. It's very time consuming to be a good friend to somebody, and I don't take friendship lightly. Been times in the past where I haven't been the type of friend that I want to be, and I don't want to make those same mistakes again. I also feel like I've been betrayed. I've been very disappointed in a lot of the friendships that I used to have, just to the point where I don't even really want to be friends with them anymore. And I don't know if that says something bad about me. Like, obviously me talking about this right now is very vulnerable, and I'm putting myself in a situation to be made fun of in a way that will actually hurt my feelings. So I hope nobody does that. But I almost feel like I want to go to therapy for this topic alone. I want someone to pick my brain until it makes sense to me. I am not denying that friendships are one of the most incredible things that this life can offer our human experience. And I'm obviously denying myself something that could bring me a lot of joy. And so it almost doesn't really even make sense to me. We're all busy also, like maybe it's also my age. If this makes sense, I feel like I need to do something genius. And all of my genius ideas and actions come from when I'm alone, thinking creatively in like my own bubble. So I feel like I'm like purposefully placing myself in this situation and not outreaching to the friends that I do have. But also like I'm very picky, especially after being so disappointed in people so many times. I'm picky and I feel like I don't have a lot in common with like a lot of people, and it's not like you need to have very many things in common with somebody to be a good friend to them. It would be nice to really like your friend, to be like, holy shit, that is my friend. I'd rather take my time and think about it 5,000 times than give my time and energy to somebody that could be influencing my life and my progress negatively. But I also know that on the flip side, sometimes all it takes to realize your vision or your dream or to think of that plan, to have some sort of epiphany, is a very good friend, like a conversation with a friend who just gets it. But like, here we are. I don't have that person. So yeah, that's your answer. She's trying so hard not to give me attention. It's hilarious. Moose. Ma'am, what kind of hair extensions do you have? This is an interesting question. Do you plan on getting any kind of plastic surgery in the future when you're older? Now, if you guys haven't tried TikTok's aged filter, then I recommend you pause this video and go do it right now. Unless you would prefer not to have insecurities haunting you for the rest of your life of that image. But that filter terrified me because I looked exactly like my dad, which I feel like is now one of my life goals, is avoiding ever becoming the spitting female image of my dad. It's kind of like realizing that you're morphing into your worst enemy. I probably would consider plastic surgery sometime in the future if I do end up seeing things that I don't like, that I know can be fixed. I don't really see a reason why you wouldn't fix something that you don't like about yourself if you can do that, and if it's within your means, you know? I'm also like one of those people that, you know, when plastic surgeons show those before and after pictures and everybody leaves a comment that, oh, she was so much better before, she ruined her face. For some reason, I always find myself to be on the other end of that, where I'm like, no, she looks better. From a symmetry and aesthetics point of view, I think there are certain things that people do that actually do make them look better, and I don't think that's a bad thing. Having said that, I still think I'm young enough where I can prevent a lot of the stuff that I anticipate happening. Did you ever think that you were gonna be alone or that you wouldn't find love or a soulmate? Yes, and let me explain why, because this is interesting. So I think this has at least something to do with what I said earlier about how I felt about relationships when I was a child. A child and a kid together is a child. My brain. Like how I said that I wanted to be in just one relationship, I never wanted to separate or embarrass myself like that. I think I was a late bloomer especially when it comes to feelings. Like, I really did not have crushes up until the 8th grade. Like, I did not have a boyfriend. I wasn't like in love with, you know, my classmate or whatever. Like, I just really didn't freaking care. Sorry if I keep getting sidetracked. This is how I make my brain gather its information from storage. I saw this comment on Instagram a while ago, and it was something like, romance is a social construct. It almost seemed to me like romance and relationships and seeking them, wanting them, participating in them, it was weak, it was unintelligent, it was primitive, almost like this animalistic thing that happened to human beings, and I really didn't want to be animalistic. I really did not want to be my id. I wanted to be my super ego. And even though that kind of went away as I got older, it still very much persisted in my 20s. It was like this voice in the back of my head that told me that like I was supposed to be doing something greater on this earth, that like everyone else can have romance because they don't think about it as deeply and as much as I do. But my brain is cursed because I look at love as this very animalistic, basic, unintelligent expression, which I'm sure somebody could say was just super narcissistic of me. I honestly don't even think that I outsmarted that doubt. I think it was just through my experience that kind of erased all that shit. I don't really know how else I would have gotten out of it, because honestly, it kind of felt like I was stuck. And I'm not really even sure that I believe in a soulmate. It just seems a little bit too storybook fantasy for me to believe in it, especially because this life is not a storybook, and it's not romantic, and it's not pretty at times. But anyways, yeah. House or flat, and why? I've always dreamt of living in a house, I think, because I've never lived in one. I've pretty much lived in apartments for my entire life, apartments or condos. I really wanted to live in a house, and so I did. I moved to a house, I was renting it, and it cost pretty much the same as an apartment did, except I was the only one living there. And golly gee, what a headache. I would never ever move to a house ever again if I was going to be living there alone, because the maintenance that it requires is like a full-time job, at least from that house, because it was an older house. I would love to live in a house, mostly because I really want to grow my own fruits and vegetables, and I really want to have a fruit tree. Like, that is my life vision, my goal. What about you? Of course, the dream is to have a huge house and grow grapes that turn into wine and have farm animals and all that stuff, you know. That's obviously the life dream and goal, but I'm still young, so I'll probably only be able to do that when I already have kids that are like grown, so. But that's fine, you know, that's the life experience. This is what I signed up for. Thank you guys as always for watching. I love you. Follow me on TikTok in case you didn't know that I also existed over there. And of course, Instagram. I love you. Have a wonderful day.